Cursed. Cursed. We all go a little mad sometimes.
There's a formula to it. A very simple formula.
I saw the boogeyman. I saw him outside.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of Tomb of Terrors with me, Old Man Brad. Whether you are new to the show or returning for another episode, thank you so much for giving me a listen. If you love the show, drop me a review on your favorite podcast app or become a patron, patreon.com/oldmanbrad. Make sure you follow me on social media on Blue Sky and Instagram. Just look for Old Man Brad. And of course, follow me over on Letterboxd so you can see all the watches I do. All right, we're back with another Paul Naschy movie in my Year of Naschy, where I'm going to be doing about 20 movies in total throughout the year. 12 over here on the regular show, and then additional episodes over on Patreon and my YouTube page. We're deep in it. This will be my fifth one total, fourth one over here, and I have another guest joining me to talk Vengeance of the Zombies from 1972. I want to welcome in Jason from History of Bad Ideas. How you doing, Jason?
Do you hate me? Is this why? Do you hate me?
I do.
Okay, just checking. Yeah, this is a film. It was a film.
Now, as I ask everybody that comes on, do you have any history or knowledge of Paul Naschy before you watch this at all? Okay.
I do not.
Okay,
and I'm a pretty good horror film lover, and I have not, or if I have heard of it, I forgot.
Okay.
So yeah.
He's known as the Spanish Lon Chaney because he does a lot of makeup effects, different creatures. He plays a werewolf. I think he has 12 or 13. Now my mind went blank. Werewolf films. The first few that I've done were werewolf movies. This is the first one that it isn't a werewolf movie for this series. It's very interesting. He did almost 120 movies. He was an actor, writer, like he wrote this one, and he starred in his films a lot of the times multiple roles. It's an interesting ride that I'm taking through these films thus far. And I'm sure like you, I definitely have some thoughts about this one when we dive into it, because it was much different than the previous films I have watched.
I'm just happy that I'm watching the correct film this time, as opposed to last time I was on your show. I watched two different movies named Rats. That did not work.
Yeah, we were getting ready to record, and you're like, "Oh, this one with Ron Perlman." I'm like,
"Yeah,
no, that is the wrong one."
I mean, neither of them were great. But
hey, Rat's Night of Terror was an amazing film.
Yes, sure. Yep. It was fun, actually, though. This film, I felt like was a porn film without the porn.
Well, welcome to Spanish films from the 70s.
That is true. The music was very pornish.
Before we I don't want to dive too far.
Okay, sorry.
Here, before you get too far, how about we'll just go for it, and we'll dive into Vengeance of the Zombies.
It's going to be the most important job we've ever done.
Flora, we've been robbing tombs for a long time now. One of these days you're going to catch us.
Don't be a coward, August.
I order you, Gloria Irving. I order you to arise and obey me. Obey me.
Please open. Oh, please. Won't somebody hear me? Doesn't anyone hear me? Open the door.
An Indian mystic uses magical chants to raise women from the dead, then send them out to perform revenge killings for him. This is directed by Leon Klimovsky. This is the third film, actually, that we've had directed by him. Written by Paul Naschy under his actual name, Jacinto Molina, and it stars Paul Naschy, Myrta Miller, Maria Costi, Vic Winter, and many others. Also goes by the title La Rebellion de la Muertes, which translates into Rebellion of the Dead Woman. It was released in the United States as Vengeance of the Zombies, probably to kind of go off the height of Romero's Zombies and other zombie films of that time. They're like, ooh, zombie movie? I need to see this one.
I like the Spanish title, though. That's kind of fun.
Released in the United States in 1973. It was Spain in 1972, and then they re-released it in 1980 under the name Walk of the Dead. And in that one, whoever the distributor was added red flashing warnings before every gory scene, which would have annoyed the crap out of me if I was watching a movie and then all of a sudden it's like bloop, 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 and then you get some blood.
Was this ever released in 3D?
This was not.
Oh, okay.
His first film was released in 3D. I don't think any of his others were, at least any of the info I've come across of the ones I've done thus far. So what were your initial thoughts before we dive deeper into it?
Again, I thought it was a porn film because of the music. And there was a little nudity.
Mm-hmm.
Was this released in America edited at all?
In the United States, no. In Spain, yes. Like all of his movies, because I have all these movies I'm doing, I have them on Blu-ray. And each disc, the previous films, you could watch two versions. You could watch the clothed version or the nude version. This one, the disc just had the clothed scenes as a special feature just to watch the scenes, how they were different with them, him not taking off the shirts and all that stuff.
Yes.
Because in Spain, even though he was a Spanish actor, director, everything, Spain's censorship was a lot more hardcore. So they would film the scenes twice, once nude, once not nude, which I'm just like, just release it. Why did they have to be
because
nude?
We got to show boobs. Come on.
I guess it appeals to a lot of people.
Yeah, but it wasn't good nudity. I mean, the women were very attractive, but the scenes were not very sexy when it happened.
Last month, when I talked about the Dr. Jekyll and the Werewolf with Brett from Dissect That Film, the nude scenes, like every single woman in that movie was topless at some point. And that one also had a clothed version you could watch, which I watched a couple of the scenes because I just want to see if they're really different. And I'm like, these play just fine. It didn't have to have the nudity. Just like this one, I'm like, it didn't really have to have the nudity.
Yeah, when they got to the one nude part, I was like, oh, hello. Like, okay, this is the film we're doing. Okay, I guess. It was an interesting ride.
I'll agree with you. The music
Cornish.
made me laugh. It was even suspenseful parts. It was very like 60s, like groovy music, where it was like, I was like, I don't think this is the tone it's supposed to be setting.
It was very Austin Powers.
Yes.
Like, and you're like, I was waiting for Yakety Sax from Benny Hill to come on at one point and just see them running around. I will say the makeup was good. When they showed Satan himself, I thought that was actually really cool for the time.
And I will say, if you've listened to the previous ones of these, we are going to spoil the movie. We're going to get into the spoilers of it. But yes, the makeup was good. And Paul Naschy plays three characters in this movie. He plays Satan. He plays
Krishna and Kantanka.
Yes. Which I thought it was funny that he plays an Indian mystic as he's a Spanish actor, but he wears a turban, and I was like,
I don't know if you could do that
fly
now.
Today. No, it wouldn't fly today. That's for sure.
I did like that the main lead actress in it was named Elvira. I was like, okay. It was. I will say, so I'm watching this, and I get to the part where you have the guy outside, like the Scream guy, basically the guy that's dressed as the Scream guy that's killing people, and I'm just like, wait a minute, am I watching the right movie? Because I'm confused as to what the fuck is going on.
There was a lot of that throughout the film. Like the editing was odd. I will say the writing there were a lot of confusing moments. Like, I like how it started, where you kind of have although it was funny how they're kind of sitting there talking, these man and a woman talking about robbing tombs of like, oh, this is what we do. We're tomb robbers. We're good at this kind of thing. So we're going to go rob this tomb. And then this masked killer comes in and gets them. And every time you see this guy, it's a different mask. And he makes these little wax kind of voodoo dolls to control them, so to speak. I
actually thought the the tomb thieves, I guess graveyard robbers, there you go. I thought they were actually going to be the main people in it, and then they died. And I was like, wow, I guess those aren't it. And I will say, like, I didn't hate the film. I took it for what it is, right? It's a 1970s horror film, foreign horror film. I enjoy the old school ones. This one was a little tough to get through. I will say that. I will say, though, like I said, there is fun parts of it. I did like, at one point, I wrote down, is this the 1960s Batman show? Because there were some scenes that were very similar to that. And like when they bring in the psychiatrist because he also knows the occult. Okay, I'll go with that. And like he's sitting in the commissioner's office and they're just like talking for like 20 minutes. I was like, holy exposition. Like, here we go.
Yes, I wrote that down. That guy, after this opening scene, you have this woman and this man who are sitting in with this mystics kind of thing. And she's very much all for what he does. And he's very much the skeptic of, well, it's this, probably this and this trying to be. And he's the exposition dumper through the entire film. Yes. Anytime you needed to explain a whole bunch of stuff, it cuts to a scene with him and he just goes through and explains everything for 5 minutes as you sit there and like, okay.
I thought they were, it looked like he was reading notes from the director to the studio. Like, this is what's going on. This is why we're doing it. This is the script. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks, director. We appreciate that.
They go and visit this man and then she decides she eventually falls in love with him and she wants to go back to his, I'm going to put in quotes, his camp to kind of stay there. But then I guess it's not his wife, but kind of like the girl he is with, that's kind of his assistant as well. They're lovers. Yeah. But then she hates her. And then it's like this love triangle.
Yeah. It was kind of like a cult, but not a cult.
Yeah.
But it was a cult. It was like, and I'm just going to hook up with these women, which is fine. But it was very odd. It was like, are you just like swingers? Like, what is this? Are you just disguising this?
And then we'll throw in dream sequence with Satan here, just randomly in the middle. It doesn't honestly make a lick of sense.
No. And I don't like, if people remember, I don't like dream sequences in movies.
I hate them. Don't?
No, I hate them. I also hate when people like smoke weed and have these like visions. I don't like that. I don't mind if you smoke weed. I just don't like it in my movies. I think it's dumb and it pulls it down. I'm not a fan of it.
Okay.
I never have been.
Okay.
That could be the reason why, I don't do well with Seth Rogen films. I don't know.
So the dream sequence, you're like, oh, this is stupid.
I did like until Satan showed up. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. But I don't like dream sequences.
Okay.
No, I don't. I get why they do it. That was interesting.
There was so much that it just felt like that was random. And then he's going through and the way they explain it, he's killing these women that were part of this, I don't remember how they put it, kind of part of this group years ago.
Yes.
And now they left India and now he's going through kind of going after these women and killing them. And then once he does, then he brings them back to life as these zombie women
to go kill
for him.
It was basically a revenge.
One of them, thing. It was funny in The Office where the girl has the trench coat on and the guys, then they're sitting there talking and then all of a sudden she just pulls the coat off and she's naked and it's like a make love to me kind of thing. And you're just like, that was completely from left field, but okay. And I did watch that scene, the clothed version of that scene, because I was like, I want to just see how different it is. And it's just her in like a bra and panties instead of naked.
That was like, I felt like he was just like, you know what? We haven't hit the quota for nudity. Let's do it.
Yeah, we need to throw one in there. What do we got? What can we put here?
I did like that she was stabbed. The guy was stabbed, and then she was stabbed through the heart.
Yeah, went
too?
like threw his body into her, because then he threw him off of her, and then he does whatever thing he does, puts her in a coffin so she can become a zombie, and they wear like a black lace dress, and they're all white with painted sunken eyes as they walk with their eyes all wide open.
Yeah, and overall, like, the whole thing is just basically he's doing this basically to to live forever, correct? That was the end goal.
He lived forever, and then I think there was a power play at the end that he wanted to kind of become almost godlike, I guess, because he controlled Krishna, basically kind of controlling what he did, and then he was scarred, and he wanted the power.
Yeah, because he got Krishna to almost kill Elvira.
Yes.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
And that was the main pinnacle point at the end, was like, oh my God, don't kill your girlfriend, wife, friend with benefits person. Don't
and then there's a whole, I guess, another secret group behind the scenes that was trying to get her out. Like, there's the one scene where all of a sudden the chauffeur type guy just pops up out of nowhere and is like, you got to leave, or you got to get out of here. And it's so random. And then he leaves. And then there's like the maid woman that's like, meet me here, which this scene was probably the best one of it. Meet me here at this time. And she goes to meet her and sees her standing there, and she gets close to her, and then her head just falls off.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, that was cool. But then the fight right after that, where he runs in, because the one guy with like the sickle coming after her, and he runs in with the rake type thing, and then the poorly choreographed fight where you could see him standing, he's waiting for the move, and they're like, and then they roll around on the ground like,
It was like the softest jabs.
Yes.
Like, here, take it, stop it. It looked like two little kids fighting. Like, please.
It did.
I will say, so there's a couple of things. The limo driver, chauffeur, butler guy, whatever, he reminded me of just like, he seemed so out of place. He reminded me of a character from like Mary Tyler Moore. Like, he should have been a character in a sketch on Mary Tyler Moore. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, do I know this guy from somewhere? Or is it just really like, he did not seem like he belonged, and then he would just pop up, and then he got killed, which was sad. It was really sad.
His death was kind of funny because he's sitting there, he's drinking some beer, sitting there, and he sees him in the window.
Yeah. He's right
sees him in the window, but just kind of like, oh my gosh. And then just kind of goes back to his thing. But then the guy gets his little doll out and controls him to like slit his own throat.
Which was funny too, because I think it was Elvira that comes running in, and she's like, oh my God. Or no, that might have been the other murder. Sorry, there was another murder. She gets all upset. And then like within 2 minutes, she's like, fuck it, let's go have sex. And I'm like, wait a minute. You were just upset because there was a murder. That's what it wasn't the chauffeur. I think it was the sister, I think is what she said, or something like that. She called her a sister.
Was it the girl that ended up kind of being like the bad girl at the end? The one that that ran her bike into the guy's car?
Yes. Which was another thing that felt very Dumb and Dumber like.
It's like, oh, boom. Oh, man, all my stuff is ruined now. I'm going to have to go get more. And he's like, well, get in the car. And then the next scene, they're making out.
Yes. It's like, that's how it was, Brad, in Spain. Okay.
I guess.
I miss my era, I guess, of just going through the countryside, making out. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, there was a lot of choices. I did like, oh my God, you died. Let's go have sex. Okay, well, I guess that's what we're doing. It's like, well, that's the best way to get over it. I did feel like Krishna had some creepy facial expressions that I was like, I know he's the good guy, but I don't really know if he is a good guy. I'm kind of worried about him. And I was like, I don't know if I would feel safe if I was a woman around him. He was, I guess, the best alternative to the other one. But yeah, it was I was a little creeped out by his face, his facial expressions.
Well, then the other guy, his brother, who ends up, you find out it's his brother. I mean, he's scarred in the way they kind of, the makeup on him, his eyes are like, wide open. He did look good. I'm not gonna deny that. He looked great for what he was, and his Satan was pretty funny too. But his Satan kind of felt like it was a comedic thing, just the way he acted, and
it was like a Phil Hartman Satan.
Yes.
It was a very Phil Hartman Satan. Like it's like, wait a minute, what are we doing? Yeah, I will say, like, overall, I think the makeup, they did a good job with the makeup. I did like that it was the pure 1970s bright red blood, like they always do in all those films.
Yeah, these old, especially the old Italian, Spanish films, like it is bright blood. You're like, that's not real blood, but it's bright, and you know what, it works.
Yeah, as soon as the first cut, I was like, there it is. Now I'm used to it. Now I'm back to it. It was interesting. Did you like this one better than the other 4 that you've seen?
No. Personally, I think this was the weakest of the ones I've watched thus far. It was very all over the place. In some scenes, very incoherent and random. Like when, you got Scotland Yard randomly all of a sudden is like, okay, we're investigating things in here too. And they kind of come and go. I don't know if you noticed at the end when they came in, when they shot the girl.
Yes.
There's these dead bodies there, and they're all just kind of standing, just kind of looking around. And then it was like, well, okay, let's go. And then they all leave. And
yes.
I was like, don't you need to do more of your job? There's dead people, but okay.
So I don't know if you know this. Back in the day, if they got the bad guy, they just walked out. That's it.
They just
didn't
left.
secure the scene. Yeah, they didn't secure the scene. I did, because the one girl was like dead, hanging there, and I'm like, is someone going to cut her down? Like, take a picture? Like, do something? No, we're done. We're done here. Good job, guys. You came in at the last second, saved the day. It's time to go. It's like, thanks, Scotland Yard. Appreciate it.
It's pretty much over after that. Like, all of his movies just kind of end.
It was a very abrupt end because I was expecting a little bit more, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, guess we're done here.
Say this is the third one Leon Klimovsky has directed, and he uses a lot of these slow motion pieces in it.
Oh, that's right. There was a lot of that.
It didn't work for this. I know he's trying to make them seem very surreal, I guess, and slow. In the other films, it worked because he did it. It was a vampire woman. So, okay, that worked. It made her seem almost magical, otherworldly kind of. This one is just like, come on, pick up the pace a little. Can we move?
I knew we were in trouble in the first scene in the tomb. They did slow motion on not one, but 2 of the victims. And I was like, I don't know if that's a choice you should have made. Like
with that music.
Yes.
Like it.
Oh my God, I'm getting killed. Wonka, waka, waka.
The music just, it took me out of any tense, serious things that were happening on screen. I'm just like, this was your choice to go with this music. So I'm like, did you want to intend this to be a comedy? Because that's kind of what it felt like. The music felt like it needed to be in a comedy, and it, like, we weren't supposed to take it seriously.
Yeah, and that was I agree with you. I think that was the confusing part. Like I said earlier, I felt like at one point I'm like, am I watching, like, is this tongue in cheek like the 1960s Batman films or shows? Because if that's the point, okay, I'm down. But, and that was the thing, is like, I don't think he was trying to make it a comedy, because there was a lot of parts, like, you could tell, like, I'm making this seriously, like, I'm doing the cults and all that. And I'm like, are you? Like, is that right?
Maybe it was the time, 1972, but I've seen plenty of horror movies of this time that weren't like this.
I was waiting for Cesar Romero to come in. Can he come in?
Do you have anything more that you want to say about Vengeance of the Zombies? And what are your thoughts on your first Paul Naschy film watch. Will you watch any additional films of his?
That's a that's a two-part question. First, I will never watch this one again. Second, though, I will watch his because I'm intrigued by it. I'm impressed that you're doing 20 of them. That's a lot. I was happy when I paused at one point. I was like, oh, it's only an hour and 28 minutes. Thank God it's under the 90-minute mark. Okay, we got this. We got this.
But at points,
and that's
it
not
felt
on him.
long.
It did feel long. And that's not like if you watch a lot of the Mystery Science Theater films, a lot of those from back then just feel long. Like it's an hour and a half, but it's a long hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time is that they didn't just, a lot of the independent ones back then just didn't have the pacing down. I think that was part of it.
Yeah.
And I think they tried to cram too much into it. And with this one, I was just like, I think the editing was rough. I think, like you said, there was a lot going on and they didn't streamline it.
No, a lot felt incoherent in pieces. And you're like, wait, what's this now? Wait, hold on. We're over here. Okay, we're going to cut to a scene with this guy to give us a whole bunch of exposition to explain what's going on. Okay, now we're going to cut back to some more stuff.
At that point, you needed somebody step in and say, Paul, we need to cut that. Maybe we should have Scotland Yard do a little bit more at the end. Just a hunch.
So out of a 5, what would you give Vengeance of the Zombies?
I'll give it a 2.
I'm right there with you. A 2 out of 5. It doesn't mean I mean, there were plenty of moments. There were moments in this I enjoyed, but as a whole, it just didn't fully work. And that's why, like I said, it's the weakest of the films of his I've watched thus far.
Where was this in the spectrum of like his films? Like, was it in the middle, beginning, or end of his career?
I mean, it's kind of at the front of his career.
Okay.
At this point, he had made 5 werewolf movies. So I think he was kind of known for werewolves were kind of his thing. Okay. And I think this was kind of a branching into something else.
I will say that you said it was called Walk of the Dead when it was re-released.
When it was re-released with the flashing warnings to let us know blood was coming.
I think it was better than the second season of Walking Dead. So I will give it that. What's in the barn? Oh my God, zombies. Just open the damn door. We don't need 18 episodes. Oh, she's in there. Yes, that's a shocker. Sorry. Anyways, so I would say watch this above the second season of Walking Dead. That would be my suggestion on this.
All right. So you didn't fully love it. And I remember the text from you going, what did you have me watch? And I'm like, yep. I figured that's what I would get after I watched this because it was like it was a little.
It was on Tubi.
Yes,
and I always loved Tubi because then the next film that I watched was Ransom with Mel Gibson. And I was like,
pretty nice double feature there, completely 180 from each other.
Yes, and Mel Gibson in the 90s, man, did he choose scenery sometimes? Did he choose scenery?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
It was interesting. So it's just because I haven't seen Ransom in probably 20 years and I watched it. I was like, this isn't as good as I remembered. Thank you for that. You got me on Ransom then.
Well, thank you for coming on to talk a Paul Naschy movie with me, Vengeance of the Zombies. I hope it didn't deter you from possibly seeing any of these others. If I call you and say, hey, I want to do this additional episode. Do you want to watch it and do it with me? And you'd be like, maybe.
I am always up for watching any type of movies, any type. I mean, I'm on Everything I Learned from Movies a lot, and I am now the Christian movie guy. The last 3 films I've done has starred Jesus in it somehow. So I feel like I'm up for any. If I can suffer through those films, I can probably suffer through anything.
I'm like, the stuff that they watch over there, I'm sure this isn't the worst thing you've ever seen. So
no.
You know, people who may not know History of Bad Ideas.
How dare they?
Where can they find your craziness?
You can find us on Facebook at the History of Bad Ideas. Yes, we still have a Facebook page. We do a lot of pop culture news there. It's not just us pimping. We're on Twitter at Bad Ideas Podcast. We're on Blue Sky, History of Bad Ideas, more nerdly.co.uk. Pretty much any podcast app we're on, Spotify, Apple, all those. So give us a listen. We are releasing our 645th episode soon.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah. So that comes out every Tuesday night around 11 o'clock. And just basically a roundtable talking about the latest pop culture stuff.
And join Jason and myself, as well as others from History of Bad Ideas at not only the Super Cincy Expo in May, but also the Comic Expo in September.
Yes, it's back to September this year. But yeah, so thank you for having me on, sir.
Well, that will do it for another Paul Naschy watch. And make sure that you subscribe to the show so you don't miss any of these Paul Naschy episodes that are coming out once a month this year, or any other episodes I do over here, interviews, short reviews, verses that I do with my wife, Tales from Tubi. Next month, Drew from the Real Feels podcast is going to be joining me to talk Horror Rises from the Tomb. That is the very first Paul Naschy movie I ever watched, and that's kind of what got me hooked down this path. So I'll be talking that with Drew next month. I'll be back with a new episode soon. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.